Hello, I'm Pastor Tim Jones, Associate Pastor of Body of One Ministries in Orlando, Florida. I want to share something with you today that's very dear to my heart. I've been a Christian for over 30 years, and I'm well acquainted with the struggles and the joys that come with this life. During my time of walking with the Lord, I've noticed something, that Christians, particularly today, are among the most frustrated people in the world. Primarily because we worship a God who has all of the answers to the world's problems, but we can't seem to tap into or understand how to tap into our ability and call to affect the world as a whole with the life-changing, world-altering principles of the living God as taught in the Bible. This frustration stems from our inability to have dominion over our own bodies. You see, we were mandated by God to manage the earth and everything in it, which includes our very own existence. It should be understood that in order to manage something, the thing has to be studied and evaluated to see what its true capabilities and limitations really are. Which brings me to why we're frustrated. We're frustrated because we're stuck. We're stuck and we can't move forward in the mandate that brought us into existence, to be fruitful and multiply, subdue the earth and replenish it, and have dominion over everything in it. So, why are we stuck? Perhaps the answer to this question lies within a statement that Jesus himself made in Matthew chapter 26 when he was having dinner with a man named Simon. There was a woman that was there who began to anoint Jesus with some very expensive perfume. This upset the disciples, who began voicing their discord and voicing their concerns over the assumed waste of a perfectly good bottle of perfume. They thought that this perfume could be sold in the market for a high price and the money could be used to feed the poor. Well, this prompted Jesus to make a statement that I believe is the key to why we are stuck. He said this: "You will always have the poor with you, but you won't always have me." Now, he wasn't talking about those who have little financial means. He was talking about those who have no idea or revelation of who they are or why they are here in the earth. You see, we're stuck because we're broke. And we're broke because we have no revelation of who we are, or particularly why we are here on this planet at this time. And for that reason, we continue to make these three massive mistakes that I'm going to outline for you here right now. I'm going to outline for you the three massive mistakes that most Christians make that keep them broke, stuck, and frustrated. But before I do, I want to ask you two questions, and I want you to keep these questions in the back of your mind as we go through and outline the mistakes. The first question is this: if you only had 6 months to live, and your entrance into heaven was dependent on you doing exactly what you were sent here to do, how would you spend the rest of your life? Second question is this: if you had the chance to repeat your life, would you change anything? Now keep those two questions in mind as we go through and outline the three massive mistakes. The third massive mistake that most Christians make that keep them broke, stuck, and frustrated is called a synergy fail. We fail at synergy. So what is synergy? Well, synergy is when two parts come together, work together to accomplish something that is far better and far more than either of the individual parts added together would have been able to make. It's increased cooperation, creative cooperation. See, synergy is what allows us not just to connect with people, but to connect with them and actually accomplish something. Why is synergy important? Without synergy, we could never tap into the resources that we need in order to attain the greater works that you and I have been called to. Without synergy, we wouldn't be able to adjust our perspective or direct our efforts. Without synergy, we wouldn't be able to truly and fully maximize our potential. See, many times we think that maximizing our potential has to do with our individual best efforts. Not so. Maximizing your potential has to do with you coming together and connecting with someone and you both accomplishing something that blows both of your minds. That's synergy. So how do you solve the synergy problem? In order to solve this problem, you have to be able to discern who you are naturally connected to. My best male friend in the whole world, the day we met, he walked up to me and he said, "You and I are going to be great friends." I didn't know him, he didn't know me. He said that, he turned and walked away. I didn't see him again for several weeks. But when I did see him again, we were both a part of the same movement or organization at that particular time. And I often wondered, what was it that made him just come up to me and say that? He's a pretty bold character. But I believe that it had to do with some natural connection that he and I both had, that he had the discernment to sense that. And today, I know that it was destiny. Now, the second most massive mistake that Christians make is called a sequence fail. We fail at sequence. So what is sequence? Everything in the world operates by sequence. It's the order or arrangement of things, of people, of events. Your birth was an arrangement of sequenced, interrelated, interdependent events that culminated with you coming into the world. Everything in life operates according to some pattern and or principle. How do you solve the sequence problem? In order to solve the sequence problem, we have to know how it is that God wants to bless His people and extend His kingdom. Quite frankly, we have to know what God's economy is, what that looks like, and then we have to live according to that economy. Now, this brings me to the number one mistake that most Christians make that keep them broke, stuck, and frustrated. Here it is. It's called a specifics fail. What are specifics? Specifics are the clearly defined characteristics and qualities of a thing or of a person. See, every person is born with specifics. There's a specific reason that you come into the earth to meet a specific need, and you have specific gifts and specific talents that allow you to be able to address and meet a need. Most people don't look at their lives in that way. They don't see themselves as the answer to something. But that's the reality of our existence. We came into the world to answer something, to be a solution to or for someone. And so specifics are very, very important, because when we have them, we can plan according to specifics. Can you imagine trying to plan your life without knowing the specifics of what you bring to the table? How can you effectively plan? One of the most popular questions that it asks to high school seniors, college graduates, you know what that question is. So what are you going to do now? It's all about doing. But what about the being? One of my mentors, Zig Ziglar, he used to say this a lot, and I love to hear him say it. He would say, you have to be before you can do, and you have to do before you can have. It was a while before I really understood what he was saying. But this is the sequence of life. If you focus too much on doing before you find out who you really are, then your doing is going to be out of sequence. If you want to solve the specifics problem, you have to answer these 3 questions. Who am I? Why am I here? And where do I fit? To solve the specifics problem, you have to get very clear about your purpose. You have to be in a place where you understand how your vision, your mission, your passion, your dreams, your destiny, and your purpose, how they flow and fit together. You have to be able to design for yourself what I call a 2020 vision blueprint for your life. We want to help you to be able to do that. There are a lot of people that have ideas, have some idea about their purpose. And that's great. That's a great start. But in this season, in this time, especially as Christians, we must be laser focused and pinpoint on as it concerns our purpose, so that we don't waste our time, and more importantly, don't waste God's. So here's what I'd like for you to do. Now that you know the 3 massive mistakes that most Christians make that keep them broke, stuck, and frustrated, I want you to comment on this video and talk to me. Let me know if this found you in any particular place. Let me know where you are in regards to these 3 specific things, these 3 mistakes that we make. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opportunity in a series of videos to outlay what each one of these are in detail and how you can make sure that you're not making this mistake. We want to help you to become laser focused with your life. Pinpoint accuracy living. That's what being a Christian is about. Because we don't represent ourselves. We represent the one who sent us. And he knows exactly why he sent us. So we need to know exactly why he sent us. Listen, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to listen to what I have to say. Please comment in the section below this video. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next video.